We are praised for self-sacrifice. We are praised for putting ourselves last, for being small. But connection happens through receiving, through being witness, through being given to. High-achieving women are the loneliest and most underfucked people that I know. You know that well-fucked feeling, that feeling right after great sex, or even after a great meal, after flirting. The pleasure feeling I can get when I hear a champagne bottle pop, when the door of an elevator at an amazing hotel dings and it slides open. The feeling of possibility, of pleasure, of fun awaiting. The feeling of being vulnerable, present, full, fulfilled. That is the feeling that my attendees get at my retreats. And these are retreats for my 12-month Pleasure Mastery Network. Clients that have worked with me for a little while, or my favorites, the ones that are just ready to dive right into the full immersive pleasure path experience. And one of my favorite things about this is that they are trusting me to curate an experience for them. And at the end of the experience, they feel so good. They feel so fulfilled. We're crying, leaving each other. We're like, how do we go back to reality? How do we integrate this? How can we bottle up this feeling, bottle up this well-fucked feeling? Okay, and to be clear, if your mind went somewhere dirty, like this is not a sex retreat, just let me explain more, okay? First, I want to laugh at myself a little bit. I used to plan these retreats, and I used to plan every inch of them. I used to have a document, probably like a 20-page like bullet point document of all the workshops and the points that I wanted to hit. And now I've evolved as a leader. You know, we have our workshop times, we have our chef, we have our special guests, we have photographers, massage therapists. Like, we've got things that I know have to happen and are going to get done. But I now know that part of the magic that we are all feeling comes just from us gathering, just from women getting together in the same space is a part of the magic. We had erotic reclamation, we had hip circles, we had flirting workshops, seduction. The last time we were twerking, this time I took them to an impromptu slut school, which we named it. Oh my goodness. We had relationship breakthroughs, partners making dinner plans, feeling desired, feeling embodied in our sexuality for us on a deeper level. We had identity shifts, like a client saying, I've been fucking wrong the whole time. I think I need to do a series of posts about that. We had emotional release, grief, but in a therapeutic way, in a coming home way. We had sisterhood and shared healing, which can only happen when we're witnessed. One of the attendees said to me, I'm surrounded by people every day, staff, colleagues, my partner, kids, and still I don't feel seen. And she's not the only one. So this circle of women, doctors, entrepreneurs, mothers, laughing together, learning together, sharing things that they only feel comfortable sharing in this space, in this safe space where they are given to, where they can actually relax and receive and realize how much they are holding. That's the magic. So I am Dr. Jordin Wiggins. You are not getting an intro today because I'm fighting laryngitis. So if you want to know who I am, go listen to one of my other episodes or come back and tune in next week because I will tell you then. Today, we're not just talking about loneliness. I want to talk about the cost of persistent performing of success, performing of pleasure in and out of the bedroom, and what can happen when women come together and finally put all of that down. Being a high achiever is inherently isolating. I used to almost fondly refer to myself as a lone wolf and how hyper independent I was and how I could solve everything. So my clients, they're the go-to people. They're the fixers. People go to them for answers, for calm, for emotional regulation, for support. But I'm always asking them, who holds you when you're breaking inside? Who plans your birthday parties? Are you giving all of yourself to somebody else, or are you holding back because you don't think they can handle it? Many women that attend my retreats share these same patterns, and they almost don't even realize how alone they were, how much they lack true sisterhood, friendship, because they've lived a life of hustling. They lived a life of putting out one fire after another, one achievement after another. The conditioning is success equals independence. I can do this all myself. And we wear it as a badge of honor. But independence without intimacy becomes isolation. And let me tell you something. You are definitely not having great sex when you are not connected to community. So in my experience, personally, clinically, with my clients, as alphas, we wear the I'm fine as armor in the Cartier. Many women at this retreat said that they've finally felt safe to share, finally felt safe to open. They said things that they've never spoken out loud, things that they didn't know they needed to say, things that they'd forgotten about, thought they dealt with, buried deep below the busyness. And then it clicks. And there's this thinking, if I break down, if I stop, no one will be there to catch me. No one's going to be there to pick up the pieces, or I'm going to come so undone that I won't know how to put myself back together. But in this group, they finally let go. And that's our true intimacy gap. It's not even necessarily about sex. It's about being emotionally seen. And a lot of the desires were coming up was, I want to flirt again. I want to feel playful. I want to feel light. When did I forget to play? When did things get so heavy? When did the pleasure centers in my brain turn off? And that's where we get this cognitive dissonance of being a high achiever. We have so much. We think I should feel grateful. Other people have it worse. But shoving these things down and ignoring them disconnect us further. They disconnect us from ourselves. They disconnect us from our partners. And they leave us in that performative mode. The performative pleasure, the performative gratefulness, the performative checkbox sex. And it's not healing the ache inside. The ache is anhedonia, that inability to feel pleasure and joy. And something that no one tells high achieving women is that you cannot do this work alone. You cannot live this life alone. We weren't meant to. At the retreat, I watched women be witnessed for the first time, or share parts of themselves and have that part be witnessed for the first time. We pulled cards, we shared truth, we laughed, we cried, we took professional photos, we had massages. One woman felt brave enough to send nudes to her husband for the first time, and she sent them for her. It was very well received. And I look forward to hearing how she will be witnessed when she is home, after my clients come to one retreat and they go home and share their skills. And it's skills, but it's not just skills, right? We're coming away with so much more. So much more connection, vulnerability, truth, ability to speak our desires, to feel grounded, to feel turned on, to feel alive, to have that spark like when you first met back. So usually at first husbands are like, what are you doing? Where are you going? And I'm not even sure that all of my clients fully share at the beginning, but now they know. After the first retreat, their husbands usually are like counting down the days to the next one. And I think I really realized how sacred it is to sit in circle with other women, to have conversation with other women, to be witnessed by other women. And in some parts of the world, I wrote about this in my book, The Pink Canary, it's literally outlawed for a certain number of women to gather alone because it's that powerful. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I don't hold back when it comes to calling out the real reasons why women are struggling with low libido, intimacy, and connection. But there are still some conversations that need more depth, ones that go beyond what I can share in an open forum. That is why I created The Pleasure Path, the Alpha Woman's Guide to Feeling Fulfilled, a brand private podcast designed exclusively for high-achieving women who feel like they've tried everything, but still aren't getting the results that they want in their relationships or in the bedroom. This is my most in-depth, transformative work yet. Raw, real, and packed with insights that I've used to help thousands of women finally reclaim desire, connection, and joy. Raw, real, and packed with insights that I have used to help thousands of women finally reclaim their desire, connection, and joy. Why did this series have to be private? When I work with high-achieving women, I see the same patterns over and over again. You're exhausted, holding it all together, and still feeling unseen or unsupported in your relationship. You're constantly over-functioning, but your partner is checked out, leaving you feeling like more of a roommate than a lover. You've tried therapy, you've read the books, maybe you've even had your hormones checked, but nothing is really fixing the problem. And worst of all, you think it's you, but I'm here to tell you it is not your fault. There's an entire system of conditioning that has trained high-achieving women to excel everywhere except their relationships and pleasure. It's breaking out of that conditioning that requires real, unfiltered conversations, the kind I can't always have on a public platform. That's why I had to create The Pleasure Path as a private podcast, so I could go deeper, so I could say the things that no one else is saying as it relates to being a high achiever. And so that you can finally get the tools, stories, strategies that will actually shift your reality. But don't take my word for it. You'll hear from alpha women just like you who have been exactly where you are right now. And it gets better. In episode 1, I dive into the 10 signs of anhedonia. And here's the truth. This isn't just another podcast. It's a roadmap for high-achieving women who are ready to finally feel desired, connected, and fulfilled in their relationships and in their lives. If you are ready to stop feeling exhausted and unseen in your relationship, to reignite passion and connection without forcing it or being fake, learn how to shift from over-functioning, over-giving to actually receiving, to finally understand why nothing has worked before and what actually will, then The Pleasure Path was made for you. But because this is a private podcast, you need to be on the waitlist to access it. Go to thepleasurecollective.com/alpha to join. And once you're on the list, you'll get every episode delivered straight to your inbox. This is your invitation to take the next step towards a completely different experience of intimacy, connection, and pleasure. You've done everything else. Now let's do the thing that will actually work. Head to thepleasurecollective.com/alpha and join the waitlist. Because you deserve a personal life, a relationship, and pleasure in and out of the bedroom. I can't wait for you to experience what's inside. I'll meet you there. So if you've been lonely in your success, if you have paid the price of persistent performing and you're not really sure who you are anymore, something's not working, I cannot stress the power of other women in community, other women who can reflect your power back to you, who can witness you, who can celebrate your success, who can celebrate your slut era. Other women, even though they haven't been through the exact same thing, but they know that your tears are sacred. We share each other's pain on some type of universal cosmic level, and we get it. So I want to tell you something that is super, super important. If you're not having the sex that you want, if you don't feel connected in your relationship, your loneliness isn't personal. It's systemic. And loneliness is the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It is costing you your health. It is costing you your happiness, your relationships, and it is probably even holding you back in business. But that is not what we are talking about here. We are praised for self-sacrifice as women, to shrink, to not ask for much, to be easy, but not too easy, because then you're a slut. So we're praised for self-sacrifice, but connection happens through receiving. We are praised for self-sacrifice. We are praised for putting ourselves last, for being small, but connection happens through receiving, through being witness, through being given to. So we wonder as high achievers, like, I can do it all. I can do it all myself. I can fix things. I don't need to ask for help. But the connection happens through receiving and through being witnessed. This retreat wasn't just a break from reality. It was a return to reality, a return home, a reality where our bodies aren't numb, where our partners are booking dinner for us without being asked, a reality where we're radiating, a reality where we're texting each other in the group chat and everyone is excited and cheering everyone on, a reality where we get to go home and say, I've been fucking wrong the whole time. One of the attendees, actually a few of them, have been texting me and telling me that they haven't been able to stop crying. And most of them are tears of joy, like working so hard to get here and finally feeling turned on, erotically alive, fulfilled, connected with that part of themselves. Like it was like they had this missing piece that they didn't know was there. And right, they all want to take it home. Like, how do I bring this home? How do I feel like this every day when we're not in circle, in community together? So what I told her, and I want to share this with you, is first of all, we have to acknowledge that you can't really, truly take this home because we live in a society. We've built businesses that are built on self-sacrifice, that are built on patriarchy and systems that drain us and disconnect us from our pleasure. So definitely step one is give yourself grace and know that it is not you. You are not to blame. There is nothing wrong with you. What you have been taught about sex, intimacy, and most things about women's health, those are the problem. So I want you to give yourself grace no matter where you are at on the pleasure path. The second thing is keep your pleasure tank full. Do your pleasure practices, movement, touch, breath, orgasm, your body, your home. This is the portal, and we have to keep it full as best as we can, especially when we are in, like I said, we live in realities that put pleasure last. The second step is staying connected. We need other women. We need community. We need reflection. We need to be able to share truth and have it just be fucking understood. And this is not optional. It's sacred. It's foundational, especially at times like these. Community is what's needed. It is needed for connection. It is needed for our health. It is needed at these times more than ever. Okay. And I don't care whatever that looks like, because we can create little communities all over. But when we're overworking and we're so exhausted in our free time, a lot of high achievers haven't set up community for themselves. And the third thing is we need to create nervous system safety. We can't sustain this aliveness, this turn on, without regulation. If you live in a state of fight or flight and the pleasure centers in your brain are off, we can't connect with other people. And that's when we desperately seek connection most, but we're actually turned off to it. We're turned off to connection. We're turned off to our own desires. I ask high achieving women, what do you desire? How do you like to be fucked? How do you like to be kissed? And they can't answer me. They're blank. They've either never known, or their pleasure centers are off and their nervous system are so dysregulated they can't even access it. They can't even access those answers. What I want to hit home is you don't need another self-care routine or checklist or morning routine or thing that an influencer tells you to do. You need a circle of women that see you, that hold space for your deepest truths, your desires, who remind you you're not broken, you're remembering. And that is what we do at my retreats, in the Pleasure Mastery Network, and in my group coaching spaces that are built for women just like you, the ones who've held it all together, but you are ready to be fulfilled, happy, energized, desired, connected. And if you're doing it alone, if you're craving connection that's not going to fade when the retreat ends, I want you to come join us. And there are 2 ways to work with me right now. Group coaching. This is a 12-week journey for those of you that have been listening to my work and you want to try it. This is where we would enter into the pleasure path. We'll map out the science of turn on, teach you how your nervous system affects your desire, and co-create a grounded strategy for more intimacy, better sex, more connected relationships. This is a little taster. This is a great, great way to enter into my work. You're not going to be asked to overshare or perform here. I'm going to guide you through a clear process of reconnecting with your truth in a space where every woman's experience is respected. We're using neuroscience arousal models. We have a goal setting structure with ease. We use a stress and pleasure model to help you understand why you feel the way you feel and how to fix it. Because let's face it, nothing has worked. Many clients come thinking that their problem is libido, hormones, stress, communication. Maybe their partner has ED. If any of these were the problems, you would have fixed it already. So we're going to explain why your libido isn't broken and how to gently unravel what's been getting in the way of your pleasure. And like I said, it's not your hormones or any of the things that I just listed. Okay, we're going to take imperfect action. You do not have to be a goddess fully put together to join. You just need to be willing to feel again. You just need to be willing to start. And that's all I find that my clients need, because you are high achievers. You're great at taking action. You're just taking the wrong action. So we will put the link in the show notes if you want to know exactly what is included. We have 2 group calls a month. They are led by me. There will be only 10 women in this container. We are starting in June. So do not wait, because 2 spots are already taken. This program is based off of years of research, my clinical experience, sacred pleasure practice, and I'm going to hold your hand the whole way while you learn the language of your body again and head down the pleasure path. So head to the link in the show notes if you want to find out more about group coaching. And the second way to work with me is the Pleasure Mastery Network. So if you want to jump right into the deep dive. So this is not surface level. This is not fluff. This is about deep nervous system recalibration, finding safety in your own body, and reclaiming your relationship to true intimacy, turn on, and pleasure in your own terms. Okay, we do this through monthly group calls. We do this through in-person retreats and through the most amazing community of women. If you've ever thought, I love my partner, but we feel miles apart. I've tried the hormone route, the therapy route, still not turned on, still not connected. If you've thought, I don't know what I desire anymore. I just want somebody to show me the steps to guide me through it. This 12-month journey is specifically for you. We use sacred feminine tools, science-backed frameworks, meditations, movement, pelvic floor exercises to rewire your relationship to pleasure. So it becomes something that you can trust, something that's yours, something that flows. You can rely on it. It's always there. You still get to be your high achieving self, and you also have access to this other part of you. And I'm going to put the link in the show notes for more information. But I do want you to know, for any of my work, any of my group spaces, you don't need to be ready. You don't need to be fully healed, perfectly spiritual. You just need to want more. My words just need to resonate with you. We provide the structure, the science, the safety, the soul, the community. All you need to bring is your curiosity, your fatigue, your longing, your resentment, your courage. Wherever you are at, that is okay. And together we will build a foundation that finally lets your pleasure through. You can find the details in the show notes. And if you have those, what about, you have these questions, is this for me? Am I ready? What can I expect to see for the benefit? Head to the show notes, click on the link for the mentorship, click on the link for the Pleasure Mastery Network, fill out an application, and you and I are going to get on a call and we can chat and we can decide, is this 12-month commitment right for you? Should you start with group coaching? Maybe I should refer you to somebody else that is exactly what you need. If you have questions, you can also DM me on Instagram, DM me the word network, and we can walk through whether this is the right fit. Because this isn't about selling something to me. It's about bringing you home to yourself and to your pleasure, which is your biggest untapped resource. You are not broken. You are just overdue for a return. So head to the show notes and let's connect.